All right, what's up, y'all? Let's talk about the concept of retirement and why I believe it can be quite harmful to one's physical health and even mental, all aspects of health, really. Now, before I get into this, of course, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, but also keep in mind this is not a blanket statement per se, because it kind of depends on how one approaches retirement. So keep that in mind. I don't want it to seem like I'm just saying that just retirement is so bad for your health and nobody should do it. I'm not really saying it that way, but it's some key reasons I believe that retirement can be quite harmful to your health that I kind of want to bring out here. And I'm interested if you have any other thoughts about this, please, comment below. So I did a little research, primarily kind of got a couple things from Wikipedia, and according to what I found out, retirement as we know it originated somewhere in the 1800s, I think in the late 1800s in Germany. And apparently it was something to help to encourage older people to get out of the workforce so they could make space for people who were younger and, healthier. And so I saw this in on one of these Wikipedia articles. I make sure I link to them in the description. But it said this essentially, that retirement as a concept began to be widely adopted here in the United States after the Industrial Revolution. That's key. After factory workers were showing signs of aging, it says slowing down assembly lines, taking a lot of sick days, taking the spaces that more youthful, vigorous men who have families could take. And also, it says that a lot of older people, it is, I guess, especially with Great Depression, this stuff really was starting to be encouraged. But apparently, older people resisted the idea of retirement in that time. But when the concept of paying people a pension to get them to quote quit working started to really catch on, that's when retirement, I guess, really started to become even more of a concept here in the United States. Now, I said that the whole piece about the Industrial Revolution was key because I've mentioned a few times on this channel that the Industrial Revolution really changed a lot of the way that we approach life here in this country, because all of life essentially, based on the decisions of government and business owners, all of life really began to revolve around this whole factory worker mindset. So like the way that we're schooled, the way that we do with um like 9 to 5, like the way we set up work days, how often we work, all this stuff kind of started to be influenced by the industrial revolution so that more people would work in factories and do that kind of work. It started to change the way that we eat, so you start to get, especially post industrial revolution, more and more more and more processed foods. You start to get people, because the industrial revolution brought a lot of advances, but it started to usher in a lot of shortcuts and conveniences and things that aren't necessarily helpful to health. And the point I'm trying to make is, all this while as you're working and doing all this stuff, you're not necessarily taking good care of yourself, especially in today's world. You're not necessarily taking good care of your body. And so you have these 40 years of working on a job in the 21st century, you spend those 40 years sitting down most of the time. Sorry about the camera. Sitting down and eating snacks and being stressed out, getting junk food, drinking coffee and soda all day. And so there is a that period of time where you're younger, and then but you're also abusing your body for years and years and years. And so the point that I'm making is, by the time a lot of us get to retirement, our bodies are pretty worn down, not because of age, but more so because of the fact that we've been abusing them all along. All during retirement, we're encouraged to save money and do this and that. And of course, hey, you're gonna get a pension. It's great. All that's great. But we know that the truth is a lot of times people get to retirement and then, if they get to retirement, then their health goes downhill very fast. You know, some people will die early or they're like significantly impaired. And so that's something I think about a bit because it's like, why is that? Again, I believe one reason is because through our years of working, we've abused our bodies for so long. For decades, they haven't gotten proper nutrition. For decades, they haven't gotten proper sleep. For decades, our bodies haven't gotten proper, you know, techniques for like addressing stress, and we haven't gotten proper movement and exercise. We haven't gotten these things, so our bodies have actually been trying to cope all this time. And so, after decades of that, a lot of times it's kind of manifested in some sort of ailment or illness of some kind. The other thing is a lot of times, especially when you've been working that long in a job, a lot of our sense of purpose tends to be tied up in that thing. And so it tends to be very difficult for a lot of people. Man, I've been doing this thing for 40 years and now I'm doing nothing. Like what what am I worth? And that takes a toll mentally. Another reason that I think physical and mental health decline after retirement is because of a lack of social connection. A lot of times, and I know of people in my previous job close to retirement, but all of their social interaction is tied up in their job. And so when they go home after work, they don't really have any sort of anybody to lean on or talk to, just to shoot the breeze with. And so if they retire, where's their social connection going to be? And so like loneliness is very much associated, not only with the deterioration of health and everything, but even with like, worse, death. And so this is the issue I have with retirement. I mean, I think it's cool to work and then okay, after 40 years, let me kind of go do some other things I want to do, hobbies, things, whatever. If that's what you want to do, fine. But because the nature of the way that we work most in our society, 9 to 5, sitting down, all this kind of stuff, I think you really have to think about this thing. One, we really have to be very, very, very intentional, more intentional than people 50, 100 plus years ago about taking care of your health while you're working. Okay. Like take care of your health and even kind of be like I'd even venture to say you need to be somewhat radical about taking care of your health because in the workplace, you constantly have, I mean, you got chairs that you're sitting down in all the time, you got snacks, donuts, people always bring in donuts. At least that's what they did where I was working, donuts and candy. And but you have to be very, very, very serious about taking care of your health so that you actually have something to work with when you're in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, and beyond. You need to be doing stuff like lifting weights, making sure your cardiovascular system is fit so that you have something to work with when you get older. Because in reality, you're not going to sit down or you don't really want to sit down after retirement. You don't want to do that because if you do that, you're going to find yourself lonely. You're also going to find your health going down really quickly. I know of a few people who for example, got dementia like right after retirement or passed away shortly after or something like that. And that's why I just kind of think that we really need to rethink this stuff. Sometimes you get to retirement and then because your health is so messed up to that point, start having a lot of, need for doctor visits and nursing care and stuff like that. And so there goes the savings. You know what I mean? There goes your retirement, your pension, and all that kind of stuff. And also another thing that I believe contributes to our society's how our society is negatively affected by retirement is our general treatment of the elderly. So if you look in times past, or even if you look at certain other societies in today's world, people like in certain other societies, like I think in Japan at least, but probably even other societies that are not as developed as ours, the family is a bigger unit. where everybody has a part to play. Whereas in our world, because we focus more on like the nuclear family, we tend to kind of push our elderly to like the outskirts, so to speak, like to the fringes, and into nursing homes and all that kind of stuff. And we don't tend to value, even though they have all these years of wisdom and knowledge, we don't tend to value that stuff, you know, because we just kind of like push everybody to the side. And so that's another reason why I think that this whole idea of retirement is not necessarily good, because people still have, while you may or may not have the vigor that you did when you were younger. Now, depending on if you take care of yourself, you could, but even if you may not work as fast as like a 25-year-old or whatever, you have a certain level of experience that that person does not have at all. And so, anyhow, I say all that to say, if you're planning on traditional retirement, really think about the maintenance of your body. Really think about, if you stop doing whatever it is that you're doing, then that's cool. But think about, what are you going to do instead? Because I'm very much of a believer that we're designed to do things. We're designed to create. We're designed to produce stuff. And you may decide you don't want to do your career job anymore. But like, get into a hobby or something. If your money is good and your health is good, sure, you can get into a hobby or something that you like. I would, you might have several options, but be very intentional about it, and go after it almost as if it were a job. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, you know, um, this whole idea that you're worthless after, retirement age. I think this stuff is baloney, man. It's not. It's just not true at all. It's like the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you think you're worthless, then that's what you're going to get. But I don't believe that there's any living being that is worthless at all. At all. I don't believe that at all. So like, find something to do that's exciting, something that is engaging, something that makes you stay active. If you stop moving, then everything is going to kind of compound, and it's going to be hard for you physically. But like, if you just kind of keep on moving, if you get set in the stone right now, if you're working, like activities that keep you moving, that bring nutrients into your body, then you'll be set up well for retirement. And so it won't just be a money thing, it'll also be your health is in good place. And if you're intentional about doing something, I think these are the things that preserve your health. These are the things on the physical side and the mental side that I don't think that are discussed enough. We tend to always discuss your pension, your TSP, your 401k, all of your investments and stuff. But what good is all that if like your health is bad? What good is all that? So if you're gonna do retirement, don't just let it be a money thing. It's not just a money thing. Where are you gonna be physically when you retire? Think about that too. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my bodyweight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/Sean B2B Fitness today. If you like this content, you might also be interested in one of my books. Learn how you can take steps literally today to successfully manage, control, and overcome common issues such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and belly fat. It's all about putting power back in your hands to improve your own health. Get your book copy today by the links in the description or by visiting seanmcclennan.com/books. Also, don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe, and join my email list at seanmcclennan.com/subscribe.